Mantour Ministries presents the Mantour Guy Podcast. We may talk about football. We could mention bacon. We might reference Rocky movies. We'll probably discuss the Mantour conferences, but we'll definitely talk about how to grow in our walk with God. Here's your host, the Mantour Guy, Jamie Holden.
Hey guys, welcome to the Mantour Guide Podcast. I'm Jamie Holden, and I am so happy to be here with you this week. Coronavirus free and feeling great. Guys, what a time to be alive, right? I mean, I've never seen anything like what our country is going through right now, as we all are working together to social isolate and stop spread of this nasty virus. And I don't want to talk too much about the virus itself, or the politics of it all, or anything like that. But this week, I do want to discuss how we as men of God need to respond during this unbelievably odd time. So this week, I want to give you some advice of actions you can take spiritually to help you and your family during this coronavirus pandemic. So let's jump into it, guys. The first thing I want to discuss is be careful with how you fill your free time. We as Americans, like it or not, we're busy people. We always have something going on. We're always active. We always have full schedules. And now, all of a sudden, we're stopped dead in our tracks. We're housebound and we have so much time to kill. And how we fill this time needs to be addressed. Guys, we're going to have a lot of time, to watch TVs and movies that we usually don't have time to do these things. We're going to get bored. And then, guys, I urge you to make sure you don't fill this time vacuum with porn. The enemy is going to try and trap you. He is roaming around looking to devour God's men. Don't give him the chance. We cannot dive into pornography on the internet. We got to avoid this trap, guys. Do whatever it takes. Try your free 30-day trial with Covenant Eyes when you use the code Mantour at checkout. So for the next 30 days of isolation, you and your family don't fall into porn's grip. Guys, also don't allow witchcraft or magic or demons or other supernatural-based content to fill your mind on TV. Guys, don't fall prey to extremely violent movies. Stay clear of all sensual movies and television. Guys, you need to take a stand during this downtime. Putting it simply, guys, your choice of entertainment has to follow the guidelines of Philippians 4:8. If it doesn't, you shouldn't be entertaining it. That verse says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Guys, you've got to be proactive in protecting your mind and the mind of your family during this season of downtime. You can find alternatives to TV and the internet to fill your time. Learn a new skill, read, play games as a family, get out the old board games. Pray together as a family, do family devotionals. So many people say we don't have time to do family devotionals. This is the perfect opportunity for you to start that process in your life. Guys, you need to be praying together as a family, do these family devotionals, and also that brings us to our next point. Number 2, spend time growing spiritually. Like it or not, our churches are being forced to shut down. I have a lot of friends, close friends who are pastors. Guys, they don't like having to shut their churches down. It's not what their desire is, but they're being called to do it. They have no choice. They have to do it. But just like many people depend on restaurants to feed them, and now they have to learn to cook and feed themselves, in America, we've been relying on our churches and our pastors to feed us spiritually, and now we're being forced to feed ourselves spiritually. The truth is, we should always be feeding ourselves spiritually, spending time in the Word, praying, and developing a devotional life. But unfortunately, many have been lazy about this, and they've relied on their pastor to teach them. This virus may be a spiritual blessing to us all, as we're going to be forced to feed ourselves and develop our own relationship with God. Guys, you've got to read the Word daily. You need to spend time talking to God. You have to keep your spiritual battery powered up, and we do this by plugging into the power source. If you don't know how to do it, I recommend getting a copy of our new book, Whatever It Takes. In this book, we have info in it on how to start and maintain a spiritual discipline in your life. You can buy a copy of the men's edition and the women's edition and use it for your family devotions that we encourage you to start. Guys, our churches are closing. We gotta feed ourselves. It's what God has called us to do. We need to be growing spiritually during this time when our normal source of food, our churches, are having to close down. It's our responsibility to learn to feed ourselves. We should be doing it anyways, and this is a great opportunity, guys, to get that discipline started. Well, guys, we have some more great advice for how to grow in your walk with God amidst this coronavirus pandemic. We're going to hear them right after the break.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Like what you're hearing? Head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Thanks.
I will press on.
I won't look back.
I will go where God leads me.
I will lead my family. I will reach the lost.
I will overcome my weakness.
Whatever it takes.
I know it doesn't get easier.
But I will get stronger.
Whatever it takes. I will run the race to win the prize.
To hear God say,
Well done, good and faithful servant.
Well done, good and faithful servant.
Well done, good and faithful servant.
I will be the man that God created me to be.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
whatever it takes. In 2020, Mantour Ministries proudly presents Whatever It Takes.
For Mantour conference dates and locations, visit mantourministries.com. Listen to the Mantour Guy podcast on the go via Apple Podcast and Google Play. Thanks.
With the advent of the internet, pornography became affordable, anonymous, and accessible. And with this affordability, anonymity, and accessibility, porn in the minds of many gained a greater acceptability. What we once called hardcore porn, we now call softcore porn. What we once considered softcore, we just now call Game of Thrones. Today, one can easily say that porn has become the norm, and that is even among churchgoers. A recent survey discovered that 64% of Christian men admit that they view pornography at least monthly. That percentage goes up to 77% when considering just millennials, those who are 18 to 30 years old. Among millennials, 36% say they view porn daily. The same survey looked at women, and 13% of Christian women said they had never looked at porn. 33% said that they view porn at least a few times a year, and 15% said they view it at least once a month. To get 250 more pornography statistics, complete with original references and sources, go to covenanteyes.com/pornstats and download the complete report for free.
Sign up for Covenant Eyes using the code MANTOR at checkout and receive 1 month of free service. Visit covenanteyes.com today to sign up, and remember, 1 month of free service when you use the code MANTOR. That's MANTOUR.
Don't forget to visit iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Thanks.
For Mantour Ministries, invincible, scaling the mountains that keep us from victory. You stayed at this mountain too long. These words spoken by God to the nation of Israel thousands of years ago still ring true for God's men today. It's not God's will for his sons to stay stagnant in their walk with God, unable to conquer the mountains that keep them trapped in their old way of life. He wants you to climb these mountains and conquer them. You can learn how in Mantour Ministries' new book, Invincible, Scaling the Mountains That Keep Us from Victory. Available today by visiting mantourministries.com. You can climb your mountains. You can claim victory. In Christ, you are invincible.
Order your copy today at mantourministries.com. The Mantour Guy Podcast, helping men grow in their walk with God.
Hey guys, Jamie Holden here. Did you know that only 10% of churches have a healthy, thriving men's ministry? That's only 1 out of 10 churches. Well, my mission is to see this number become 100%. Join me in my work with HEUS Missions to help develop men's ministry in the local church. Become a monthly financial investor in the work God called me to do by going to mantourministries.com/partner and clicking on the Give Online button. Together, we can see God continue to move among men.
Welcome back to the Mantour Guy Podcast.
Welcome back, guys, as we look at how we as men of God can get through this pandemic and come out stronger than ever. So let's get back to it. Number 3 thing we want to discuss with you today is, guys, you need to pay attention to your health. Guys, I believe it's God's will for us to take good care of our temples, our bodies that God has given us. And let's have a little straight talk here, men. We are a little less busy due to this virus. Let's not spend this time sitting around eating a lot of junk food. And guys, I'm saying this as to myself as much to you. I am a huge chocoholic. I love chocolate. And I'm coming off of a marathon of 2 months of Mantours. I'll be honest with you, I am tired. I am living in physical pain, and things have just slowed down tremendously. And I have really been struggling to not pick at candy all day long and throw out my diet, just throw out the window. It's been a battle, but I know this time to slow down is not a time to gorge on junk food and eat unhealthy. Guys, we need to be wise in our food intake. We need to maintain our exercise regimen. If you don't have an exercise regimen, guys, you need to start one. Even with my disability, I've worked out a way to exercise and stay active. We need to maintain our physical health during this time. So guard against binging on junk food and find an exercise program that you can maintain. This is so important to keep ourselves healthy during this time. Number 4, stay connected to your church and men's group. I said earlier we need to be feeding ourselves spiritually because churches are closing down. And I truly believe that. But we also can't neglect our church attendance. How do we do this? Well, guys, most churches are live streaming their services on Facebook. If your church isn't doing this, find a stream of another church to watch. Trust me, if you do this, get up on Sunday morning and watch a different church than your own because they don't have it, you aren't being unloyal to your church. If you're watching another service, it's not being unloyal. You're just maintaining church as a priority in your life and in the life of your family. And when all this mayhem is over, you can go back to your church, guys. Also, there really is no need for your men's ministry to suffer during this pandemic. Guys, we live in a digital age. You can still all meet through FaceTime or Facebook Messenger video chats or some other video chat services. You can all meet digitally in the privacy of your own home. Take advantage of this technology so that your men's ministry keeps its momentum and is still roaring strong after this crisis pass. All right, the final thing I want to talk to you about, guys, is men, we need to make sure that we are being faithful to God financially during this pandemic. I'm going to say it bluntly. Just because your church is closed doesn't mean you're off the hook when it comes to tithing. It's not bonus money that you can pocket. You don't get to keep the money. We are called by God to tithe to our local church, even if it's closed for emergencies. And I get the urge and the desire to do it. Things are going to be tough financially. Some people are out of work. And the desire not to pay our tithes because we need that money, it's going to be strong. But guys, you can't afford not to tithe. Pocketing your tithe because your church is closed is stealing from God. It's the same as if you held up a bank. It is theft. God can't bless your finances if you're stealing from Him. This is a serious matter, guys. Just because your church is closed doesn't mean they're not still getting the same bills at the end of the month, and they pay these bills from your tithes. This is so serious. I encourage you, even if you can't go to church, mail in your check. Do it online, but find a way to stay faithful to God financially. Be faithful to God and get your tithe paid so God can continue to bless you financially.
The Mantour Guy's final thought.
Well, like many of you, we spent a chunk of this week rearranging and rescheduling and changing schedules that we thought were written in stone. And as I worked on the logistics and the practical parts of the things that changed in our lives, I found myself asking for God to show me His perspective on what's happening. And no, guys, I don't have some big spiritual revelation or a prophecy of why this is happening. But as I prayed, the truth that settled in my spirit is that God is not surprised by this virus. Guys, he knew it was coming. He knows when it's going to end. He knows everything that will happen in between. In this truth, we as followers of Jesus can have peace. God is in control. Nothing happens in the life of a believer that God doesn't have under control. And I know that many hearing this feel like you've lost control, especially if you're like me, a type A who likes to have everything in order. It can be unnerving. We don't like when plans change. We don't know what's coming next. But today, I want to remind you that God does. He does know. He is not surprised, and he still has your life under control. Allow this thought to bring you peace. And even more, let it drive you to ask God how to rearrange and reschedule all the things that need rearranged and rescheduled in your life. Another truth that I completely believe is that God wants to share his will for our lives with us. And as we seek his will and ask him what to do, even in the smallest details, he will help us make decisions, rearrange things, and show us how he wants to proceed and provide. So whether you're trying to figure out how to balance kids and work while the schools are closed, wondering how you're going to pay your bills now your income may be adjusted, or if you're just feeling fearful about everything involved with this virus, keep these words in mind. And remember these 4 words. God is in control. He's not surprised, he's not afraid, and he is not panicked. As we look to him for direction, we can find his peace and the best way that we can proceed with our lives. So guys, these are just some closing thoughts from one control freak to another out there. We really hope it helps you. We're almost out of time here, guys. But before we end, just a little business I want to take care of. As of the time of this recording, we are still scheduled to go ahead with our 2 final Mantours at the end of April, and they are not being canceled. We're waiting to see closer to the time how things are going in our country, and if need be, we will try and find an alternative format or try to reschedule it. So guys, stay tuned to Mantour Ministries' Facebook page for updates on our final 2 Mantour conferences, but as of right now, we are going forward with them. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this week. I appreciate you giving us your time. We'd love to have you go to Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and Google Play, and subscribe, give a 5-star rating, and leave a review. Also, make sure to head to our website, mantourministries.com, and check out the remaining dates and locations of our conferences. Check out the speakers that are listed there as well. Check out our books and our resources. Our monthly newsletters there. You can read the first chapter of Whatever It Takes for free on the website. And we have so much more available at mantourministries.com, so make sure to check it out. But once again, guys, thanks for joining us. Stay safe, stay healthy out there, and we'll be seeing you next time on the Mantour Guy Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Mantour Guy Podcast. Be sure to visit mantourministries.com to learn more about our books, men's ministry resources, and our Mantour conferences.
Hey guys, Mantour Guy Jamie Holden here. Are you looking for a speaker at your church or for your men's breakfast, your next men's event, men's retreat, or men's conference? Well, why not bring me in to speak? God has been moving among men as I've been sharing an encouraging word of freedom and victory. We're seeing lives change, men being saved, people being set free, and guys, chains are being broken. So if your church has hurting men and women, contact me to come share this encouraging word of hope and victory to help you grow in your walk with God. One more thing before I wrap up this week, guys. You need to head to covenanteyes.com and sign up today to protect you and your loved ones from the many traps awaiting you on the internet. You know, I am a Covenant Eyes user. I just signed my 69-year-old father up and put Covenant Eyes on his phone and his laptop. I believe in it. It's an amazing tool that helps you stay pure online. Guys, I encourage you to try it today. If you use the code Mantour, you get 30 free days. That's 30 free days. What do you have to lose? So head to covenanteyes.com, try it today. Like I said, what do you have to lose, guys?
The Mantour Guy Podcast, helping men grow in their walk with God.